Welcome, everybody. I'm excited to be with you today. The context and prompt for today's session is about sparking change and managing change. So, every decision that we make as organization sparks change, whether we realize it or not. Demand drivers are increasing, the frequency of them is increasing. Today's world is in a constant state of transformation. Success really depends on how intentional we are in managing it and planning for it. Automation, AI are reshaping work faster than ever. Skills are expiring quickly. The lifespan of a skill is reducing consistently, which means adaptability in our organizations, also as people, is incredibly important and increasingly important. Today, we're going to dive into how to manage sustainable talent strategies, focused on development, growth, succession, and how organizations can thrive through accelerated change. My name's Ross Hill. I'm the Chief Customer Officer at Orgvue. I've been with the company for 11 years, primarily helping businesses use data to understand the evolution of the business and manage and control change and adapt their operating models. I've worked in the UK for several years, helping businesses in Europe. I've worked in the US extensively, as well as APAC. So I've been all over the globe doing this work and really excited to be with you here today. I'm also delighted to be joined by Linda Grattan, one of the world's leading voices on the future of work and how organizations change and how people within them can thrive through change. Linda, it's great to have you. I would love if you could do a quick intro on yourself as well.
Thank you, Ross. Thank you so much. Well, it's such a pleasure to be with everyone today. And Ross, thank you so much for inviting me to join you. I am a professor at London Business School. So I teach MBA students, and I also teach a world-class program in human resource strategy. In fact, it's the #1 rated program in the world on human resources. So we are running it next week, actually, Ross. We've got 40 people from 20 all over the world. So it's wonderful. I also write. I've written many books, and my books are really about, different aspects of the future of work. As Ross just said earlier, when we think about change, there's so many different aspects to it. The pieces that I tend to concentrate on are, well, the whole system change and how the future of work changes as a system. But also, I've really drilled down on demography because I feel that's an area that we haven't really thought enough about. And that's about people living longer, but also whole societies aging very rapidly, as we see in Japan, but also now in China. And of course, now as everybody is, I'm thinking about the impact of artificial intelligence. So I teach a program to my MBA students about the future of work. So it's really all of my life's work, really, Ross, is about the future of work.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, and thank you so much. It really sets the stage for what we want to talk about today. And I love kind of your background as an academic, but also a practitioner and a thought leader. And you did mention, and I'll embarrass you, you just won a Thinkers 50 Lifetime Achievement Award.
I was saying to Ross, Thinkers 50, which sort of ranks the thought leaders. What an odd job that is. If you're sitting next to somebody at dinner and they say, what do you do? And you say, I'm a thought leader. I think I'd rather be like my son and say, I'm a radiologist. Everybody knows what a radiologist is. But anyway, yes, I did get the Lifetime Award this last week. But as I said to Ross, that's just because I'm very, very old. And in the end, everyone gets it. I think I'm the only one that's still alive. All the others are now dead. So that's all good.
Well, congratulations. Anyway.
Thank you, Ross. Thank you.
That's awesome. So I want to start, and we'll start broad and kind of narrow as we go.
Yeah.
So, a relatively generic question to kick us off, but I think it will help kind of structure the conversation. You've written extensively about how the world of work is changing. So how would you describe the biggest workforce challenges that we're currently seeing in the market today? So what kind of prompts you? What sticks out to you?
Yeah, well, can I just stand back a moment, Ross, just to say a little bit more about that? Because, I've been looking at the future of work now for more than 20 years. In fact, 10 years ago, I wrote a book that was about 2025, predicting 2025, called The Shift. So I know how hard it is to predict the future of work. Let me say that thing. And that's partly because there's all of these forces that are working together, some of which are very predictable. So demography is very predictable. We know right now how many kids were born this year. Therefore, we know, who's going to be joining the workforce in 20 years' time. So demography is predictable. We know that people are living longer. Technology is actually less predictable because some aspects move very quickly and astonishing. ChatGPT is, I think, astonishing all of us. But then on the other hand, I'm looking out of my house in Primrose Hill and there aren't driverless cars and there aren't
Right.
drones dropping things down. Now, I know there will be, but they haven't arrived yet. And certainly when I wrote The Shift 10 years ago, all the technologists told me there will be drones dropping stuff to you, Linda. And honestly, there will be driverless cars, and there aren't either of those things. So obviously, some things are much slower. And then there are the unexpected things like the pandemic. And I don't know how those of you who are listening, do please jump in and chat if you can. But I think we've really forgotten how astonishing the impact of the pandemic was. It really basically closed work down for 2 years and changed the way we think about work. So I guess it's a very long and rambling response to a very simple question, Ros, which is to say, it's hard to know where things are going for the future. But what one thing I would add, and that's the other sort of thing that we don't really always talk about, but it can become very important, is government policy. And you can see right now government policy, particularly about the deglobalization of the world, is making a big difference to people's lives.